Mr. Jerry Vava. What's going on, bloody?
JTG,
What up, what up, what up, what up?
episode 125.
125 we live.
So let's raise. We're gonna raise our glasses as I say our intro. We
This to the
want
sky.
to welcome y'all to another episode of Giant Fundamentals, the podcast dedicated to empowering men by tackling the vital issues of mental health. And we're toasting to episode 125. You didn't even wait for me. This boy already stuck on ice. Like a big jit. He like, oops. You know when you at the dinner table and they want toast? You couldn't wait for the three prayers, huh?
125.
Salute.
Man.
Salute, my brother.
I want to throw a monkey in there real quickly, man.
What's
How
up?
do you feel about the 125th episode? And wait, before you even answer that,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this. For people who don't know, like, man, I think, I don't remember the exact number,
Mm-hmm.
but most people, majority of people who start a podcast only get to episode 8 and they fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten to 125. So I want to say that because in this culture that we live in, we're a lot on vanity metrics. How many followers do you have? How many listeners do you have? How many views do you have on YouTube and all this other stuff? And we're looking at the wrong thing. And the reason why we've been able to get to 125 episodes is because we have a purpose, man. We have a purpose to empower men to tackle the vital issues of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true purpose. When you have purpose, bro, you're going to keep going. You don't care about results. You like, yo, you just got to put this out. So I just wanted to say that before you said that.
No, I definitely want to echo the words that you just said. We have purpose, and you know, us being best friends, we've known each other since childhood. You know, we've tried different business things together. We're still doing different business things together. So the fact that we never allowed it to ruin our relationship, our friendship, is a testament. It's something that, you know, I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the podcast. I'm glad that our consistent listeners are continuing to learn with us. They tell us all the time, like, it's great. Because you know, you put your voice out there in the world and you're nervous. You're not sure how people are going to receive it, how they're going to accept you, how they're going to think of you. But everyone just says, nah, just keep going. It's amazing. I'm just shocked on how impressed people are by the content that we put out weekly. You know what I mean? Like, it's great, you know? And I also want to let the audience know, like, I know a lot of times we use mental health terms, right? And they've been overused by so much people on social media. And we only use these terms to give you a baseline of something like a foundation mentally that you can rely on. But at the end of the day, the work is what's really important. Awareness doesn't do much. You know, validation of feelings don't do much. It's the work that you put in every day to be the best version of yourself, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that the validation and the awareness doesn't do much. I just think that that's just the tip of the iceberg, man.
Correct.
You got to go deep. You got to go deep into that ice. You got to go down, boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that work is. Yeah.
100%. I just wanted us to be different as far as the podcast, because a lot of these podcasts are just people complaining.
We very different. People have been telling me, like, yo, it's like, it's funny. Like, you be saying some very funny stuff. And I was like, yeah, because we're just being us. Like, we're not, when you're starting something, it's just common, especially in this day and age that we live in. It's easy to compare yourself to what other people have, what they're doing, so on and so forth. But really, at the end of the day, people just want authenticity.
Yes.
And that's just being yourself. So I'm like, yo, listen, yeah, this is mental health. It's a serious thing, but I mean, we could still make jokes and say, funny stuff. Like, it doesn't mean that we're not serious. It's a part of who we are, you know? So I think that's what makes us so unique. Like, we bring in a serious topic, we're bringing awareness to it, but at the same time, we're just showing up as two kids that just grew up in Miami. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's funny because Kendrick Lamar, he famously said on a interview right before the Super Bowl, the three emotions you can feel in a room are love, fear, and authenticity. Those are three distinct emotions.
Hey,
So
that's because authenticity is not emotion, but the way he put that in, that's really good.
correct,
Right?
correct, correct. So with that being said, what is your giant gratitude this week? Tell us how you feel in your mind, your body, your heart.
Man, I feel great because for the simple fact that even though there are challenges in my life that I'm facing,
Hmm.
I'm navigating them very well. You and other people have, expressed that to me, like, yo, you're doing great. Like you're doing your thing. So and when I say I'm doing great, I'm doing my thing, I want people to understand it's not about money. It's about still showing up in the world as someone who can contribute to it in a healthy way, but more importantly, still showing up for myself and showing up for myself bigger and better than I ever have in my life, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
So one of my things, I talk about it a lot on the podcast, like, yo, just being able to get up in the morning, go exercise, go hoop, go walking, go running, like those things. I'm a very simple person, and that stuff really, like, it makes me feel good that I'm able to actually do those things and keep up
Mhm.
with. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my kids too, man. I'm seeing how they're growing. I'm like, yo, like I came home last night. I saw the bathroom clean. I was like, whoa. And then this morning, my daughter was like, "Oh, Dadu, did you see the bathroom?" I said, "Yes, you did an amazing job." I'm like, "Yo, you see when you put a little pressure on the kids, and I don't want to say pressure, but it's like you push them to do a little bit more, but I also teach them in the process. You see what they're capable of, man. So I'm just thankful of how they're growing up, man. They're having their own little lives. They have their own little friends. I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, because I'm just happy to see how they're growing, man. It's an amazing thing to see, man. I'm just thankful, bro. I'm just thankful for life. You know, as I moved on, I don't think I ever said it on the pod, but I'm no longer the VP at that practice anymore. I left in January, and that has been it hasn't been a challenge per se because all the business things I've done. This is like big, right? But it has really showed me that every single thing that I've done in the last 5 years
Hmm.
is like all for this moment right here. All the skills, all not even the skills, the lessons, bro. The lessons. Because a few years ago, I was trying to move fast, make all this money, this, that, whatever, whatever, like neglecting my health and all this other stuff. But I recognized from that season that it don't work like that. You got to really be invested in the building process.
Right.
So now I'm invested in the building process, and it feels great. It feels great, and and things I never used to do back then. Like I'm celebrating my small wins. Like for example, with the podcast, on episode 125, celebrate is like So I'm seeing that now, like all the things, all the experiences, all the lessons. I'm bringing them into the season. I'm building the practice out, and it feels great, man. It feels great.
No, that's amazing. You paused a little bit when or you hesitated when you said putting pressure on your kids. What was that hesitation?
I don't want people to think that I'm putting pressure. I don't want people to understand. I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying, like pressure, like, hey, you gotta do this. No, and I'm not. I'm
Mm,
not trying to say like, uh, encourage them, push them, just push them a little bit. Be like, hey, yeah, you can do this. Like,
mm,
I said, no, you can do it, and then like walk them through it. Like, okay, here's how you do it. All right,
mm,
we're gonna do this and that. You know what I'm saying? And then yeah, instead of being like, no, you gotta do it, like push, 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 like push with like like that
yeah.
energy. You know, you
So
know. So
no, it's funny because I was actually spending time with my kids yesterday, and just seeing them, like you said, grow up. Like they don't need me. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, hey, okay to see you guys. I was like, hey, I was like,
in their own worlds,
they're in
kid.
their own worlds. They're in their own worlds. They sleeping. They on they TikToks. They cleaning their rooms. They doing all they setting up they week. So I'm like, okay, my kids are a little bit older, so it's just part of that teenager. And it reminds me of when I was a teenager. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to be around my parents. I wanted to be on the block playing ball with y'all. So
Man, those teenagers, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just making sure that I remember them so I can know how to navigate with my kids. 'Cause those teenage years were not easy, dog.
no, they were not. And sometimes I get a little jealous because from my perspective, their teenage years looks easier, but they have their own challenge.
Yeah. But Jerry, you don't think it is?
I just did. I don't want to be. I don't want to. Because
Yeah,
they.
I know. I know you don't, but I am gonna be. It is. Yo, they got parents that like they have a dad. Like
Yeah.
you had a dad, but you didn't have a dad. You
Right.
had a father, you didn't have a
Mhm.
dad.
Understood. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you going over there to see how they're doing, spending time. It's like, what if I did that? When he did that?
Nah, I had to cut grass. Like, why you ain't cut the?
That's only spending time.
Yeah, you didn't cut the grass. You did a good job. I give you a $5. You know what I mean? $5. Go to his shop, sweep water all day,
Mm.
and get $3. And $2 I got to use for the jitney now.
Oh my God. You only profit $1.
$1.
It's
If I
crazy.
get hungry, I gotta go to Mama Jennings to go that dollar. It's a wrap.
He's gone. That one slice of pizza for
The
$1.
ones exactly. So it's like, I see how different it is, and when I tell them stories, they're like, "What? That's so
Yeah.
whack, so corny." But
Mm.
for them, they're just, they're living their lives, and like same. I'm not trying to like pressure them, say, "Why are you not reading a book? Why are you not doing this?" Like nah, like I challenged my oldest daughter, like, "Hey, what's the longest you spent off TikTok?" She was like, "Maybe 12 hours." I was like, "Okay, maybe try 24 next time." And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, just try it."
Yo, that's crazy, kid. That. Oof.
But my mind is doing good. That helped me seeing my kids, had a good weekend. My emotions are good. My body feels good. Been off and on with the gym this week. So just, want to get back on that horse.
What do you mean this week? It's only Tuesday, bro. You got 3 days.
Well, yeah, you're right. I did work out twice last week.
Oh,
I didn't work out this week yet.
well, listen, you got 3 days.
I got 3 days.
You actually got four because you could go to the gym after work, right?
Yeah. So
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh,
Friday,
Saturday. You got 5 days. So
so I
you're good.
got 5 days. So, sometimes, because, last 2 weeks I was on it. I was,
Yeah.
and you have those motions where you go up and down where it's like, okay.
Yeah. My therapist, she warned me about that too. She was like, because it was one point in time. Remember that time? It was a few weeks ago. I went to the gym 6 days out of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And then my therapist was like, she was like, all right, that's good, but just know, sometimes you're gonna. She trying to put my expectations, so I
Right.
kept it in my mind, and that's kind of helped me out too. It's like, bro, as much as I want to be a professional athlete, not okay. Just vibe. Like
That's
you go
true.
to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, you good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and I don't go into the gym. I don't kill myself anymore. So,
Right.
and when you go on your walks, that's exercise too. You know that, right?
That's true, but the Haitian in me is like, that's
Exactly. I know that. That's because I know you go on walks a lot. So I'm like,
yeah.
you
I
got to
still
count
walk
that.
every
I'm
day.
counting that as your exercise. Like that is exercise, bro. Like you walking for like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Bro, you got to understand, Americans. There's some people that don't walk at all.
That's true.
Like, a lot of people don't move.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to count that. Yeah, definitely count that.
So yeah, learning not to discount myself, as you
Yeah,
said.
bro. Yeah.
And my gratitude this week was just thinking about loneliness, like
Mm.
men loneliness, right? So that's why when you told me you met up with some of the boys and you was chilling with your brother-in-law recently and y'all went for a walk, I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
man, that's amazing because a lot of times as fellas we isolate, we don't want to be around nobody, we disappear.
Yeah, bro. I
And
know it firsthand. I see the men all the time. That's all they ever say, dog. Yeah, I don't really talk about isolate. Oh, man, okay, we gotta.
nah. And we just gotta be out, we just gotta be outside, we gotta meet new people, we gotta check
Yeah,
in with the fellas, so
yeah,
just making those phone calls and be like, hey, I had really good catch up phone calls this week,
yeah.
guys, with Junior, with Brandon, some of the people that listen to the podcast, and just checking in and planning to meet up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's something that
this weekend we meeting up because I'm coming down there this weekend. So
yeah.
Definitely gotta. I'm recognizing it doesn't take much to live life. I think a lot of times we get so caught up on trying to do the big things like vacation and stuff like that. It's one of my clients, man. This one client, he's a listener to the podcast too. I think he'll know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing him maybe for like the last month and a half, and the progress that this dude has made has been amazing. And it's literally just me holding space for him. It's like, bro, like you good, like you don't gotta. We just talking, bro. And of course, I challenge him a little bit. I told him to write a letter to his kid self. That right there was the breaking point for him, boy. Like he bawled out in that session, bawling tears. Like never expressed those things. Not one person in his life. Ever since that moment, he's just been skyrocketing. And I told him, I was like, yo, like, your family wants to have a better connection with you, and you guys are kind of distant. He's like, yeah, I want to take him on a trip. I was like, bro, you don't have to do that. Just pick up the phone and call. Like, that's what we don't recognize is that's what really makes life. That's what really brings the connections. But I think we've gotten so caught up, the gram life. Like, gotta go on
gram life. I like
bro,
that.
we got so caught up on that, and it's like, bro, connection is connection. Like it don't take a lot to connect.
Right.
That's why some friends that I have, I be upset with them because I'm like, nigga, call me. I call you, call me.
Right.
But I understand that some people they're just not like that. It's out of sight, out of mind. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to all those people that do be hitting me up. Like you said, Junior Augustin, yo, that's my guy, man. He always finds time to reach out. Like there's always these key people in my life. It's like, yo, they always find time to reach out. Jonathan Dalbris is another one. Like I got a good number of people that would just reach out and just like, yo, just stay connected. So yeah, man. Yeah, that's gotta stay connected, man.
For sure. Talking about connected, let's bring up your NBA segment. I haven't been happy with the NBA this year, so I'm not excited to always talk about it. So is there anything you want to talk about the NBA about? It's been trash, kid. It's been trash.
No, it's not. It's great. It's about to be really good soon. No, okay, there was something
playoffs. Playoffs gonna be.
Yeah, playoffs gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be lit. There's something that I wanted to talk about, but I forgot what it was. But the thing that comes to my mind right now is Jimmy coming back to Miami.
Oh yeah.
He didn't talk to none of the players. Oh, that's not true. They said he did it, but he talked to Kevin Love, and he spoke to Rozier or whatever. Like they had like a little joke, whatever. But outside of that, he ain't really dap the players up. He ain't say nothing to them. He said, nah, he ain't say nothing to Pat Riley. If you see him, and Pat Riley better not say nothing to him. I was like, oh shit.
What?
Yeah.
That's what my dad went to. I saw my dad. My dad said, "Yeah, this guy, he's an ugly guy. He's bad. He's rude. You don't say nothing. You don't care. He's a selfish. He's a lazy. He's selfish. He come to Miami. He do massy things on the beach, and he come here. He don't show no love. And I'm glad they're with him. I'm glad you go.
He's a selfish.
He's selfish. Yeah, he slow the ball down. He slow it down. He take bad shots. We don't need him." I was like, okay, thanks, Pops. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, when I was listening to the Dan Le Batard show, Amin Al Hassan, he said it. He was like, this was always going to be the breakup with Jimmy because, and this goes to the quote, when someone shows you who they are, but them. And a lot of times as people, when we're in the midst of that person, we use that attitude or their identity as a benefit to us.
Yeah.
And it lifts us up like, oh yeah, that's our guy. And then when it no longer benefits us, we push that person. So I feel Jimmy because it's like, yo, I've always been this way. Now that I'm this way, y'all don't like it because it's not benefiting you. Right? So where's the acceptance in who I am no matter what? Is there a fine line in that?
It's it's the thing about it is
Excuse me.
it's that yin and yang of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, the very thing that the Heat loved him for, like he's a dog, like he no nonsense, like he's about that life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the very same thing that hit the Heat in the ass, because now when it's time to re up on that contract, they don't want to pay him that bread.
Right.
That's when now you see it works against them. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing about it is, that's just life, Jerry. I feel
Yeah.
like when you have and people, their people are going to look at it from a wrong perspective.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna say, "Well, Jimmy, Pat Riley, two alphas. That's what happens when you have two alphas. They can't coexist." It has nothing to do with alpha. I know that's what it seems like on the surface,
Right.
but at the core of it, these are two men
Mm-hmm.
who have a strong self concept.
Mm-hmm.
They know who they are. They stick to their guns. They stick to what they believe and what they value, and they're not going to move away from that.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened, because Jimmy, like, yo, look, I need this bread. Like, give me this bread. Like, yo, I took bum ass teams to the finals. I pulled a LeBron, like,
Right.
to the finals. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
got what they went to, like 3 or 4 Eastern Conference championships for the 5 years he was there, two
Yeah.
NBA finals. So he's like, yo, give me my bread. But
Mm-hmm.
Pat Riley like, I do that for LeBron. Yeah, nigga, I ain't do that for D.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like two men just standing on business. That's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I appreciate Pat Riley and the Heat for being a class act because they still did a tribute video.
oh, they
Like,
did. I didn't know that.
yeah, they did in the beginning. Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
started the game. They did a tribute video. They applauded him. So they they didn't allow the politics of the game to stop them from doing what they would have done for anybody else.
You don't think that's politics though?
Of
I
course it is. Of
yeah,
course it is. But they could have been assholes about it and be like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it is what it is. So
No,
it
I want
mhm.
to see if they're gonna retire LeBron jersey when he retires.
The number 6.
Yeah.
Nobody else got it right now, right?
Nah, but anybody
Yeah,
can wear it. But I wonder if they're
yeah,
gonna
they're
retire.
gonna retire. They're gonna retire it. They just can't. If Pat Riley's, I understand. If I Pat, I'm not making no comments about it. Like I'm gonna be the last team to retire it. I'm gonna do it after Cleveland. Like I'm gonna make them sweat because somebody. I understand sometimes you don't want to gas people head up so much. Like LeBron just started saying Miami like last year. He would
Yeah,
purposely
he
say
got over
others.
it. But you heard what
Yeah,
he said. You heard what LeBron said though on Pat McAfee show. He was like, "Oh, he confirmed the cookie situation was true."
yeah, I heard.
But then he was like, when they didn't want to resign D Wade to the big contract, he was like, "Oh, okay, then that cookie thing ain't a big deal. Like that's just how they roll."
That's
So
how
I
they
guess
roll.
he just got over it.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? And March Madness, you've been keeping up.
Nah, I haven't really been keeping up on March Madness. I just be waiting to the time. I know Cooper Flag been balling. I like Kid, man. I
Yeah,
like the way he plays. So I just been kind of just waiting to the final. Let's just kind of wait to the finals, to be honest with you.
that's cool. Yeah, when you hear this weekend, we could Final Four. So
True,
check it
true.
out. We can check it out. Do you have any M&Ms for us? Any sweets? Mental health music?
I do have one. I do have one. It's not recorded yet. It's not even my song. It's my daughter's song.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm her ghostwriter. She gave me the concepts. She gave me the concepts, and we just kind of put it together. So, uh, and I'll say it after. So
Mm-hmm.
it goes, come on down and work for me, cause with me you can FEAST. Come on down and work for me, cause if not, you'll be hitting the streets. And then she goes, "Nah, I don't work for little. Nah, I don't work for giggles. Queen V so hot I sizzle. Dance moves like Marky Dizzle.
Mm-hmm.
So I whip my hair, walking down the clean aisles of Claire's. Hey boy, you can hold your riz. I'm a queen, so I mind my biz.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean it. Shout out to my fangirl Phoenix. I'm dripped out in the latest pearls. I'm Queen V and I'm that. girl.
Baby girl.
Yeah. So we gonna spend time to record that. She's her
Okay.
she's her daughter's child. She liked to make music, and she said she wants to dance and make music and all this other stuff. So I'm just trying to encourage her, helping her out in that way. So sooner or later we got to get into the studio to record this. But um, with her, I like doing these songs because for me, it's of course it's a time for us to bond. I remember we were writing, and she was like, "Oh man, this is so fun." I'm like, "Dang, like wow, it sounds very simple." But
Wow.
I like to write the songs with her, and I like to write them in a way to elevate her. Like I
Right.
was Queen V, like you're a queen, girl. Like do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's programming her brain to know like who she is and what she deserves.
That's amazing. It because I was actually talking to my oldest daughter, and she did a couple dance things, tryouts and stuff. So I was asking, I was like, how did you feel like about the other dancers in the room? She was like, oh, did they have training? She was like, yeah, some of them I could tell they did ballet. She was like, some of them I could tell they never did ballet. And I was like, I said, but your spin moves is on point. She was like, you know it. And I'm like, yeah. And then, I'm talking to her, so I'm giving her the little cons, like, yeah, you be killing them on the spin moves, like you Michael Jackson out there, So, and she was telling me her technique and stuff. So, listening to how you prepared a song with Vivian, and I don't know, it's like these are the things we never like to be able to take your kid take him to a studio, like to encourage her to listen. And I love music. My dad got so because I used to download music. I was like a local DJ, you know what I mean? So mixes, all that stuff. And I remember when the compact blew up because I had 5,000 songs, and my dad went crazy. He's like, they're gonna arrest you, they're gonna get you, and you stealing music. You're on my internet. He just go on, and I'm like, wow, like it's like, but if he just changed that tune where he invested in me, not monetarily, just through emotions,
Yeah,
mentally,
yeah,
how different would my life be?
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I love the fact that you're spending that time with your daughter and still giving her the riz, giving her the confidence in the music so that she knows who she is even while having fun.
yeah,
And it's like I think that kind of leads us to our main topic, because defining childhood trauma, right? And part of the title is the subtle and giant impact on everyday life. And this stems from a Mel Robbins podcast that I was listening to with Dr. Gabor. And they were talking about little T's and big T's, little traumas and big traumas, and how the main concept was it's no one's fault, but it's your responsibility. And there are things that our kids are going to experience that we have no control over at all.
yeah,
But I love the fact that you were doing the song with Vivian, because it's like in the times where you're not there and she's experiencing life from her viewpoint and there are traumas that she's going to experience, you're fighting against that by spending that time with her and building this song and building her confidence. So if you could kind of break down the little T, the big T concept, and the subtleness of those traumas.
absolutely. So I think the big T's are, well, not I think, I know.
Mm-hmm.
The big T's are the things that people automatically know that, oh, that's trauma, right?
Right.
So that physical or sexual assault,
Mm-hmm.
um, witnessing some sort of domestic violence or any type of violence,
Death.
right? Death, yep. Natural disasters, being a part of earthquakes, again, seeing someone die, chronic abuse, like all the time, physical, emotional, sexual, some type of serious illness or injury, like, cancer, things like that, seeing a parent go through that, all these sorts of things are the big traumas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And normally, the thing with the big traumas, they are often, it's just like a one-off situation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a high impact event. It's like they're often just single high impact event.
Right.
And we notice, right? Most people know this. Like if you experience the big trauma, the big T, then
Mm-hmm.
it's the PTSD.
That was my next question. Okay.
PTSD. And those big T's, man, like, again, like being sexually abused, physically abused, it results into long-term emotional distress or just simply just difficulty functioning in daily life.
Mm-hmm.
And they also lead to identity changes or struggles with trusting people, feeling safe, and issues with your self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the big T's. Those are the things that we kind of already know. And that's why it's so interesting because with my clients, I'm like, yo, do you believe you experienced any type of childhood trauma? It's like, nah, my childhood was good. My parents, they were there, they worked a lot, but my dad could have been like this, like, but honestly, I wasn't abused or anything like that. That's always the first thing because
Mm-hmm.
they're automatically thinking about the big T's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then, what are the little T's?
Okay. So with the little T's, these are the ones that a lot of us normally experience.
Mm-hmm.
So just to put a bridge on with my clients, I always know, okay, you didn't experience those things, but that doesn't mean, well, let me say you didn't experience those things. Let me be more clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you didn't experience the big T's, but that doesn't mean you weren't traumatized. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you didn't experience trauma, and that doesn't mean it hasn't impacted you. So with the little T's, they're on a smaller scale, often less intense experiences, but over time, they can still cause emotional or psychological harm
Mm-hmm.
very easily. So while the little T's may not have an immediate or overwhelming impact like the big traumas, but the thing about it is they could stack up, they could start to accumulate and
Mm-hmm.
have significant, very significant effects on a person's mental health. Like
Yeah.
often feeling like less than or feeling diminished or being emotionally drained.
Mm-hmm.
And it's simple, like emotional neglect, that's
Mm-hmm.
a little T. Constantly being criticized, that's a little T.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling rejected or abandoned in relationships, whether it is like friendship breakups, uh,
Mm-hmm.
tension with family, being bullied or socially excluded.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Like minor accidents or injuries that can cause harm. Um, Ongoing stressors like job related stress, school related pressures, financial stress,
Mm-hmm.
experiencing microaggressions in the workplace,
Yeah.
and discrimination, subtle discrimination. Like all those things, those are little T's. And what I like to focus on with my clients is mainly the the emotional neglect
Mm-hmm.
because that's normally what a lot of us experience in childhood is that emotional neglect. Like you just mentioned with your dad,
Mm-hmm.
where you're downloading songs and putting them on a CD and you're selling them, and then he's like reprimanding you and like saying, "Oh, you're doing this." So that's criticism. That's constant criticism.
Right.
And what people don't understand, as a child, you grow up in an environment like that. It grades on your self concept. It makes you very unsure of yourself. It makes you feel as if you're not doing well enough. It makes you feel as if, man, I'm not good enough. All of those things start to seep into your psyche. And what I want people to understand as well, don't be fooled. Just because someone is a high performer, that doesn't mean they're good. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of high performers are operating off this play, like this thing in the back of their head is like, oh, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. So now you're performing to beat that voice in the back of your head. You see, that's the thing about living in a capitalistic society. When someone is thriving and they making money, we just automatically assume they're good. Nah, a lot of these niggas, they be the most fucked up people.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to prove something.
Right. So I think some of the examples that come to mind when you talk about little T, along with my example, is that people don't realize is both your parents working all day, right?
They, yep.
Um, maybe as a young girl, I know a lot of girls deal with this, especially in our culture.
Mhm.
Oh, you're gaining weight or something with their weight gain over time,
Yeah.
chubby. Or even as boys playing ball, you're the last one always picked.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying?
You know there's a pride to this day. To this day. You remember that nigga the box? To this day. You know what I mean? Radio Raheem. Yo, peoples too. But to this day, bro, to this day, yo, I'm starting to hoop again. When I go to the court, in my mind, like, let me just back up. I'm getting too excited. Let me back up. The very first day I went,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I gotta show these niggas I can hoop so that they don't try me and they pick me up. So I don't know. I got picked up maybe like third or fourth because I'm new there. But I get leeway because I'm a big guy. So it's like normally when I go to a new place, I'm a big guy. People want to pick me up because I'm a big body.
Right.
But for me, I'm like, yo, I still got to show them I can hoop. So that first game I played, I balled out. A couple of games I played, I balled out. Ever since that day, I'm always picked first. Ever since that day. And there's a pride that comes with that. It's like, yeah. So imagine when you're the last one to get picked. Yeah. I remember that happened to me in middle school. I vividly remember it, Jerry. Vividly remember it. It was like playing with the older kids. I was like in the 7th, 8th grade and playing with the 9th graders and during PE. And they would always pick me last. And then one day, bro, I just had a breakout game. Ever since then, they just started picking me up. Ever since then, like just So yeah, that's a good one, bro. That's a really good one.
These are things that we don't subconsciously, we're not thinking about them in the forefront of our mind, but they shaped how we showed up in the world over time.
Absolutely.
And these are things that we don't, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And we're not saying that it's a big deal, but it's something to deal with.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that you took for granted and you don't realize that it's been controlling you throughout your life.
Yeah.
And something that I want to also get into, because you talk about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from the big T's. And there was something Mel Robbins and Dr. Gabor talked about in their episode where he explained that the act of the trauma is not the actual trauma.
Yeah.
But the way we responded to the trauma
is the real trauma.
That's the real trauma. That's what we should be dealing with. And a lot of times the way we respond to certain things that happen to our life in childhood or in adulthood, we believe that's our identity. We believe that's just who we are.
Yeah.
You could kind of explain like the misconception with that.
Yeah. So what a lot of us don't recognize is that, and I'm just gonna take neglect. Okay, I'm just gonna take neglect. And again, this is a neglect. A lot of times is not necessarily. Honestly, most of the times it's not done on purpose. I don't think a parent just says, "I'm just gonna emotionally neglect my child."
Right.
They just don't have the tools and the emotional capacity to deal with the child. So I would just say that to start off, but then to move forward, you think about neglect. You're neglected. Now, what ends up happening? Let's say your parents are working all the time. We call it being a latchkey kid. You come home from school, your parents are not there, and you're just left to do whatever you want to do. Right? So that in itself can make you automatically feel as if I'm not important because my parents are not here. Now, what we need to understand is that as children are self-absorbed. It's just a natural state. It's a natural state. It's as children go from one stage to the next, children, adolescence, teen, young adulthood, that self-absorption is supposed to go away, but for a lot of people, it doesn't go away, right? People think that, the world is not just about you, right? I think kids are self-absorbed. I mean, from the perspective of kids always think things are their fault. So if your parents get divorced at a very young age, it's because I wasn't a good kid.
Right.
That's how they operate. So now a child is not going to be able to understand that their parents need to work to provide for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not seeing that. They emotionally react to the neglect, to being a latchkey kid from I'm not important.
Mm-hmm.
Add insult to injury, parents come home, parents tired, parents stressed, parents worrying about bills, parents worrying about so many different things, and they don't have the emotional bandwidth to spend time with the child.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what happens. The child is like, oh, play with me. Oh, trying to talk to you, trying to gain your attention. And you're like, yeah, yeah, go sit down. Like, I'm tired right now. I can't. So again, that adds on to the layer. Like, wow, I'm not important, and I guess I'm not lovable.
Mm-hmm.
These are these are the little T's. They're stacking up against one another. So now what you do, because as human beings, we've developed defense mechanisms. We learn how to adapt in situations from because human beings are very resilient, and it doesn't just happen like that. It's like from the womb to come out of your mom's womb alive. That's resilience right there.
Mm-hmm.
Wired to be resilient. So what a child is going to do, a child is going to try to find ways. Like, okay, man, I need to show my parents I'm important. I need to show that I'm deserving of love. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform. I'm going to do really good in school. Or I'm always going to make sure the house is clean. Or I'm going to so now you develop this thing into your personality because now it's attached to this belief that is this limiting belief that's not true. Like I'm unimportant. I'm not lovable. Now you try to combat that belief and say, try to find a way to feel that way. Now you develop these ways of living and being and doing to
Mm-hmm.
gain that sense of feeling importance, gain that external validation from your parents,
Mm-hmm.
trying to feel love. And so now you go throughout your entire life operating that way, thinking that that's how things are supposed to be,
Right.
thinking that that's who you are, but it's not who you are. You just adapted to a situation where you experienced neglect
Right.
to gain some sort of love and self-respect.
So then, with everything that you said, if let's say in a relationship sense, I'm in a good relationship now, wouldn't those defense mechanisms aid my self-sabotage because my nervous system is not used to this situation,
Yeah,
right? So it's like now I don't even know how to act in this situation because this is not what I'm used to. I'm not used to someone always being available for me emotionally. I
facts.
don't know how to be vulnerable,
Absolutely.
So that is very interesting stuff.
Yeah, I have this I do this thing with my clients
Hmm.
when they've experienced some sort of trauma, childhood trauma.
Hmm.
And there was a client that I had. I was speaking to her, and I think it was I forgot how the topic came up, but I was like, "Oh, do people say you're pretty or something like that?" She was like, "Yeah, people say that I'm pretty," and I'm like, "Well, you don't believe them, huh?" She said, "Well, I don't believe them. I really don't, honestly." And I said, "You know why you don't believe them? Is because it's a cognitive dissonance. It's a contradiction because what you believe about yourself."
Hmm.
That I'm not pretty, I'm not lovable, I'm not important. That's the belief that you have. So when you hear it on the outside, you're like, that's not true
Hmm.
because it's contradictory. It's a contradiction to what you actually believe. So when you get into a relationship, your partner could be bigging you up. They can really see the best in you. They can be uplifting you, and but be based off how you see yourself, based off how you believe what you believe
Hmm.
interpret that totally differently, and you could be like, man, they just lying. Like, you know how many times I heard people say that? Like, man, she's supposed to. Yeah, that's my girl, so she's supposed to say that. You know what I'm saying? I struggle with that sometimes too. Like when people are like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry that you're going through that." I'm like, man, you're just saying that because you have to say that.
Right. You're not
But
really sorry.
yeah, but what I recognize that's a me issue because I grew up thinking that nobody cares about me
Right.
because Mom wasn't there. Dad wasn't there. Grandmother was such in a deep depression. She was neglectful. So I just automatically assume like, yo, people don't care for real. They just saying that. And I have to actively in real time, like, no, like they actually do care. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're worthy of being cared for.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I like to do with my clients as well is when they have these self-limiting beliefs that stem from childhood trauma, we list them out as well. I try to get at least 5. And then,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what do you want to believe contrary to these beliefs?
Mm-hmm.
The positive beliefs. And then I say, okay, so now let's start working on situations, events that have proven that these beliefs that you want to live by are true. Because what a lot of us don't recognize is that the beliefs that we have that are positive, we've already experienced them.
Right.
But the thing is, those negative beliefs are overshadowing them because those negative beliefs were so dominant in our childhood, in our formative years. So they're overshadowing the the positive beliefs and then the experiences that we've had with them. Boy, it'd be a struggle, boy. We pulling teeth, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, like, what about this situation? That would be like, oh yeah, that's right. This, I say, yeah. So let's start marking down the events next to that positive belief to start to just, and that's what we call cognitive behavioral therapy. It's just to like reprogram how you're seeing yourself.
So that's what CBT means. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So when you talk about those beliefs, something that it was hard for me, like I understood it, but it blew my mind when I was listening to that Mel Robbins podcast, is she had a situation where she was having a sleepover, and I guess one of the young boys was on top of her while she was sleeping. And Dr. Gabor explained that event in itself wasn't necessarily the trauma.
yeah,
The trauma was you had no one that you could feel comfortable telling that to.
yeah,
You almost felt like you had no help. There was no help there. So that was hard for me because it's just from an external standpoint, we just think like, oh, she's traumatized forever because the boy was on top of her. But really, the real root of the trauma came from because she couldn't tell her mom, she couldn't tell her parents because she felt like they wouldn't believe her.
yeah,
She felt like that belief she had that no one would care
yeah,
about. So if you could kind of like, I guess, break that down, because I thought it was the act in itself.
yeah, yeah. It's not what happened to you. It's about how what happened to you made you feel.
Mm,
That's what it's about. That's what a lot of us don't recognize. We automatically look at the trauma in itself. That's the surface thing. But how did it make you feel? And there's one thing about human beings, like I said, we're just very resilient, but on top of that, we are wired for a need of safety.
mm,
That's not just physical safety, it's emotional safety. So
mm,
if you don't feel emotionally safe with your parents, you don't feel emotionally safe with siblings, family members, like, and I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it in the family because that's where most of the trauma actually happens.
mhm,
Feel safe in your own family with your own parents. That is what the trauma is because we are meant and wired for safety. We are meant for community. We are meant to lean on one another,
mhm,
especially for a child because kids are dependent.
mhm,
Like, not just for us to pay bills and have them to do activities and go to school and buy them things, but they are dependent on us as parents emotionally,
mhm,
right? So there's something that probably happened in Mel Robbins' childhood that made her feel as if she couldn't tell her parents. And you know, man, and the thing about it is, her parents could have been so emotionally available.
yeah,
Let me tell you something. Shame, shame will fuck you up.
yeah,
Shame will make you feel as if you can't tell anybody. And like again, like I said, with kids are very self-absorbed. So once that shame hits them, they're gonna be
mhm,
like, oh no, I can't tell my parents because they're gonna feel as if I did something wrong and I
mhm,
bro. And so that's why I'm like, as parents, I'm gonna let you guys know right now. Look, do your best. do your best, but don't hyperfixate. Because I see this, our millennial parents, we be hyperfixating on not messing up our kids.
Right.
Stop that. Like, there are just certain things you're just not going to be able to deal with because the kid has a being, a mind,
Mm-hmm.
a consciousness of their own. So
Mm-hmm.
you do everything quote unquote right. But at the end of the day, they're going to interpret the thing the way that they're going to interpret it. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
I say shame settles in, and it's like that in itself could make you not talk to your parents, even though your parents are like so open and they're easy to talk to. And you still may
Right.
not speak to them.
Right. So as parents, which we've learned is like you can't protect your kids from everything. They're going to experience something, and it's not your fault.
And it's not your fault.
It's not your fault, but it is your kid's responsibility to eventually work through those whatever they experience. Like that's not something you can't control that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Bro, sending your kids to daycare is trauma. You know that, right? Because
Yeah.
there's kids and parents too, but when you talk
Yes.
about kids, they experience a separation anxiety
Yeah.
because those years, like from birth to like 10 years old,
Mhm.
the child needs to be with the parent majority of the time.
Right.
That's very important for the development of the child emotionally, mentally. But of course, we live the society that we live in. People got to pay bills. People got to go to work.
Right.
You can't just stay here, just stay with your kid. You got to send your kid to daycare.
Right.
And then now we don't even have to. We have to send kids to daycare because we don't even have the gumma anymore. Gumma can't even watch your kids anymore. They always had a gumma in the neighborhood or you gum like watch it. You don't have that anymore because gumma's still working now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like those things you can't. What can you do? You know what I'm saying? So you just try to just build the best relationship with your kids as much as possible. That's just do your best, man.
Yeah. Did you have any other like final thoughts?
Yeah, I would say this. We need to stop assuming that we have not experienced trauma.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop assuming that. Because again, those little T's, like they stack up. Like being in an environment where you were always criticized or you always had to perform or you always had to be perfect or not having your parents around when you got home from school and let's say, you had to deal with bullying and teasing growing up. But those are traumas. They have impacted you. You may not recognize it. You may think you have gotten over it. You may have gotten over it. You may think they have not even impacted you, but they have. And you got to just really take time to first, like, kind of sit with yourself, see, like, really just be honest. Like, and when I say be honest, just kind of like be open to see, like, man, these things did happen to me. I know I've been saying that it hasn't impacted me, but let me just be more open to really see if they have or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they have, because they have, bro, go get some help. Just start talking to a therapist. Like you'll see. Like you may think like your life is just so, oh yeah, my life is good. I'm great. Like I don't have no problem. Yeah, I experienced those things, but you don't realize how much elevated your life would be if you had somebody to talk to talk those things out.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, we appreciate you spilling the tea.
Yes, sir.
And I love you, my bro.
Love you too. Until we pod again. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, the man that says he can and the man that says he can't are both right. Which one are you? Street cred was a major priority, and no respect for any authority. If you love school, you were in the minority. Can't be yourself, only way was conformity. In the dark, I pray.